WXII 12 News at 6 starts right now.
Fueling a crisis, a drug maker ordered to pay more than $500 million in the nation's first ever state trial over the opioid epidemic. What lawyers for both sides say the company did and didn't do.
At least 10 victims of online harassment and a concern that there could be more. How investigators say a man made contact with underage boys.
And first, the tropics, they are heating up as we close out the month of August. Here's a live look at Myrtle Beach. Chief Meteorologist Lainey Pope keeping a close eye on several systems as we start this new work week. Still 3 months left in the Atlantic hurricane season.
And tonight, Tropical Storm Dorian is slowly approaching the United States.
Let's get straight to Chief Meteorologist Lainey Pope about potential North Carolina impact here. Lainey, what are you seeing?
We've got a couple of tropical systems that are out there, and one is closer than the other. The first one is Tropical Depression number 6. You see this cluster of clouds here. We've been keeping a close eye on it. Hurricane aircraft went in there this afternoon and said, yes, this is indeed a tropical system. So it is now Tropical Depression number 6. Now, the good news with this one is that it's anticipated to stay well offshore. The bad news is that it will likely kick up rip currents along the North and South Carolina coast over the next several days. Now, by Thursday and Friday and into the holiday weekend, this one is well away from us. And then we've got Tropical Storm Dorian, which is farther to the south and to the east. In fact, it's not too far, under 100 miles from Barbados. You see it there. This one is strengthening. It has 60-mile-per-hour winds now, and it's moving west-northwest at 14 miles an hour. So this storm is expected to become our second hurricane of the season, maybe as soon as tomorrow night into early Wednesday morning, and then potentially impacting Puerto Rico as well as Hispaniola, Dominican Republic, and Haiti, that during the time frame of Tuesday, and then by the middle part of the holiday weekend, perhaps impacting the Florida coast. We have plenty of time, of course, to look at this weather system, and we'll be keeping you up to date on the potential impacts on North and South Carolina as well as Virginia heading into early next week.
All right, thank you so much, Lainey. Last year, we saw 2 storms in the final few months of hurricane season. We're talking Florence and Michael. Hurricane Florence made landfall on September 14th along the coast of North Carolina and caused catastrophic flooding across the state. About 2 weeks later, Hurricane Michael hit Florida really hard as a Category 5 storm and quickly moved up the coast to North Carolina, impacted once again. You can track the tropics from your phone. Just download the WXII 12 News mobile app and make sure your notifications are turned on. We'll send you push alerts about storms and how they could impact North Carolina.
A Boone man tonight is accused of preying on young boys online and through his job, and investigators are asking more potential victims to come forward. Frank Cromwell is facing a number of charges, including possession of child porn and cyber stalking. The U.S. attorney says Cromwell used apps and social media to entice underage boys to send sexually explicit pictures and videos of themselves. He's accused of going by a number of different names. You can find that list on our website, WXII12.com. Investigators say he met a few of his victims through an internship program as an athletic trainer at Watauga High School. If you or someone you know may have been a victim, you are asked to call the Boone Police Department. That number, 828-268-6938.
A reminder tonight to be extra cautious on the roads, especially now that school is back in session. A Stokes County school bus was rear-ended this afternoon on Brooks Cove Road and Highway 8. Some glass broke at the back door of that bus. There were students on board. Fortunately, everyone is okay. Law enforcement across the Triad, they're increasing patrols this week to make sure drivers are not passing school buses. State law says if you are driving behind a bus on any road, you must stop if the bus comes to a stop. Drivers on the other side of the road must stop on a 2-lane road and on a 4-lane road when there is no median or turn lane. Penalties for passing a stopped school bus include a $500 fine and 5 points on your driver's license.
Continuing our back-to-school team coverage now, Brandon Bates spent part of his day at Allen J. Elementary School in Guilford County. He caught up with the superintendent, Dr. Sharon Contreras, and the two of them talked about the 2019-2020 school year.
It's the first day of school for students across the Triad, and here in Guilford County, the superintendent says they've been facing some big issues over the summer. As students hopped off the bus at Allen J. Elementary School in High Point, school leaders are still working to make sure everything's in place.
We certainly had difficulty with teacher hiring. As you know, the class size reduction law went into full effect this year.
Guilford County has one of the largest school districts in the state, and transporting those students has been an issue.
And we certainly face challenges with hiring bus drivers. We're actually offering teachers up to $9,000 a year if they will assist with driving buses, which is not an ideal situation.
The superintendent asked parents to be patient with them as they continue to address the issue, but she says her staff is resilient and their top priority is the students.
I have 10,000 committed employees, and they make it work even when we have difficulties. They prove that year after year, and we have a community that really embraces the school district.
Another concern during the summer was the start date at Brooks Global Studies School. The school was supposed to start on August 8th, but they were pushed back to start today because part of the school was deemed unsafe. Despite some of the setbacks, school officials are still looking forward.
I remain optimistic because I know I have the best staff in the United States, and I know this is a loving and caring community.
Superintendent Contreras says despite these challenges they're facing, she wouldn't trade her district for the world. She says it's her students and her staff that make it so special. Reporting in High Point, Brandon Bates, WXII 12 News.
This week, people in Forsyth County can get a first look at the new middle school coming to Louisville. The initial plans for that school will be presented at the Louisville Planning Board meeting that will happen Wednesday night at 6:30. The school will hold about 800 students and will be built off of Robin Hood Road near Louisville-Vienna Road. The funding for the school was approved as a 2016 bond referendum. Next year, students in North Carolina may be taking fewer standardized tests. Lawmakers will vote tonight on legislation that would end more than 20 end-of-course exams, mostly covering high school subjects. This bill directs school districts to review local testing requirements and reduce them if they exceed the statewide average. Final votes are scheduled for tonight.
Another new law will take effect without Governor Roy Cooper's signature. He had until midnight Sunday to sign that bill, veto it, or just simply allow it to become law. Supporters say association health plans will make coverage more affordable for farmers and small business owners. The governor says he had concerns, however, over the legality of some of the less expensive plans. UNC hospitals are at risk of losing their accreditation after a national accrediting agency found a number of problems during a recent review. The agency placed the hospital system on preliminary denial of accreditation status, which will remain in effect until they do another survey. The Raleigh News and Observer is obtaining internal documents, which they say proves that the problems included suicide prevention and medical management. A hospital spokesperson says there are not any threats to patient health or safety, and plans are already in place to address the existing problems.
The biggest change ever in North Carolina's Medicaid program is underway, but running into some money trouble. Lawmakers are now trying to piecemeal state funding to transition Medicaid into a privately managed program. Bill O'Neill joins us in Jamestown with a story.
Lawmakers say transforming Medicaid from a state-run program into one managed by private companies is not going as smoothly as anyone had hoped. An informational meeting on the changing program, which serves nearly 1 in every 5 North Carolina residents, made it clear to some lawmakers there's a problem.
We have right now a room full of providers who are very clear that there's a lot of confusion and even they don't understand it.
Rising health care costs led North Carolina to follow other states in turning management of Medicaid over to private companies. The goal is to save money. The fear is it will lead to reduced services.
Your Medicaid eligibility does not change. If you're eligible for Medicaid today, then that eligibility remains in effect.
Medicaid recipients will choose health care plans provided by 5 insurance companies. An enrollment broker can help you find which plan works best for you. But the rollout is hampered by the budget standoff. GOP lawmakers who made managed Medicaid a priority are now trying to pass a separate bill to fund the transition. But Democrats say the bill cuts funding for the Department of Health and Human Services, eliminating staff needed for the transition.
This particular bill does not do that. It's going to be on the floor of the Senate tonight, and I'm certainly going to be put against that.
The rollout for managed Medicaid is November 1st here in the Triad region. If it doesn't come in time, the state will continue to run Medicaid. In Guilford County, Bill O'Neill, WXII 12 News.
In Commitment 2020, we are exactly 1 year away from the start of the Republican National Convention in Charlotte. The RNC runs from August 24th to the 27th next year. The Democratic National Convention will be a month prior in Milwaukee from July 13th to the 16th. Right now, there are 21 Democratic presidential candidates. And while the current president, Donald Trump, is expected to be the GOP nominee next year, some Republicans are challenging him in the primary. Conservative radio host and former Illinois Congressman Joe Walsh announced over the weekend he is vying for the Republican presidential nod. Walsh says the president is unfit for office. The other Republican rival already in the race, former Massachusetts Governor Bill Weld.
North Carolina expected to play a big role in next year's election, and visits from the candidates are already starting to pick up. Yesterday alone, you see it right there, Senator Kamala Harris was in Greensboro. She made a campaign stop at Smith High School, not mentioning her Democratic opponents, but definitely highly critical of President Donald Trump. The latest polls have Harris fourth in the race for Democratic nomination. Former Vice President Joe Biden will also be in North Carolina this week, making a stop in Charlotte on Wednesday. The Charlotte Observer reports he's attending a fundraiser hosted by Erskine Bowles, a former chief of staff under President Bill Clinton. Biden does not have any public events planned.
Huge news tonight in the ongoing opioid crisis. Johnson & Johnson has been ordered to pay $572 million after a judge in Oklahoma found the drug company helped to fuel the state's opioid crisis. This is the nation's first state trial dealing with the epidemic. More than 6,000 patients have died in Oklahoma alone over the last 2 decades.
Johnson & Johnson knew opioid drugs were addictive and caused harm. Despite that, they marketed their drugs as safe and effective for everyday pain.
Now, lawyers for the drug maker are denying these allegations, arguing their products are heavily regulated and infrequently prescribed. Johnson & Johnson is expected to appeal.